Now, why it is important for you to know how to interact with the representative from the pharmaceutical industry, because there are many legal and ethical issues involved in the interaction between a doctor and the pharmaceutical industry or the representative from the pharmaceutical industry. Now, this is a part of your practical examination also, mind it. So, carefully listen what is being taught in the class. Now, who are the major stakeholders in this relationship between a physician and pharmaceutical industry? The major stakeholders are the pharma industry, the physician, and there is one more important stakeholder. Who is that? Patient. Very good. How you are interacting with a pharmaceutical industry will ultimately decide the fate of the patient, because the pharmaceutical industry directly or indirectly try to influence your prescribing pattern. The drug that you are going to prescribe to the patient mostly will be decided by the interaction that you have with the pharmaceutical industry. So, the patient is a major stakeholder also in a relationship between doctor and the pharma industry. So, don't forget the patient. And the relationship between the patient, pharma industry, and physician should be based on certain ethical principle of justice, patient autonomy, non-maleficence, and beneficence. That means that beneficence means as far as possible, I will benefit the patient. Non-maleficence means I will not harm the patient, and I will do justice to the patient, and I will not cross the limit wherein the autonomy of the patient is hampered. Now, there is a delicate balance between the relationship between a doctor and pharma industry. Now, what is the purpose of pharma industry interacting with the doctor? Why not they directly meet the patients and influence the patient to buy so and so drug? So, what is the benefit that a pharma industry have in interacting with the physician? Yes. See, most of the medicines are prescription only medicine. There are only few medicines that are available over the counter. Prescription only medicines means that are to be dispensed to the patient only with the doctor's prescription. So doctor is doctor is the deciding factor about the drug that is going to be prescribed, and that's why the pharma industry has a tendency to influence the doctor, because if the industry can influence your prescribing pattern, somehow they are going to get benefited. But there is nothing wrong in doing that by the pharma industry. They have every right to interact with the doctor, but there are certain aspects that should not be ignored. Those aspects are the principle of ethics, the right, safety, and well being of the patients, the autonomy of the patients, and ultimately your duty as a doctor. Your duty as a doctor is not to harm the patient, as far as possible to benefit the patient. So though grossly if we say, or if we see the interaction between a doctor and a pharma industry, we can say that interaction is ultimately benefiting the patient, because many a time doctor is not aware about the recent update that is happening in the field. Mostly during a day-to-day clinical practice, he or she is dependent upon the medical representative for the updation of his or her knowledge, and the information that a medical representative or a pharmaceutical industry through their conferences or CMEs they are providing to the doctor become the only source of information for regular update to you. So indirectly you are getting influenced through those educational activities or through those uh, uh, drug promotional literatures to prescribe a certain XYZ drug. So we can say patient is getting benefited, no doubt. Patient is getting benefited by your prescription or by you prescribing them a good drug or efficacious and safe drug. But what we had seen previously, like while we were critically appraising the drug promotional literature, what we were noticing that the efficacy part of the drug was being highlighted very prominently, but the safety part of the drug was ignored, or the information on the safety aspects were ignored. So if the information is balanced, if the information is impartial, then there is no harm in doing that. But if information is one-sided, then that is a problem. So the major point of contact between you as a doctor and pharmaceutical industry is medical representative, because you must have seen in any hospital or any OPD or in any doctor's chambers, there are many medical representatives, those who visits regularly to the doctor. So for what purpose these medical representative visits the doctor? The basic idea is to update the doctor about any new drug or any recent update or any new launches that the company has done, in the recent past. But is this the only thing that a medical rep does when he visits the doctor? The information that a medical representative is providing to the doctor, as I have told you, if it is impartial, if it is balanced, if it gives a holistic picture, if it gives a complete picture, then there is no harm in that sort of information. But if that information is not complete, or it only gives a half picture, then that is a problem. Plus, if that representative tries to influence somehow, try to influence your prescribing pattern by some other means, then that is a problem. So, good thing is, as a doctor, good thing for you is that the medical representative becomes a source of information for you, because when you become so busy with your practice that you don't get time to update your information or your knowledge, so you become fully dependent on a medical representative or pharmaceutical industry for a recent update. There is no harm in that, but don't get unduly influenced by their marketing propagandas. The purpose will be to influence you to prescribe in a certain manner, in a certain way. And again, the thing that I am telling you, don't forget about the patient. Don't forget the patient, because in an interaction between doctor and pharmaceutical industry, the third major stakeholder is patient, and patient is almost always ignored in that particular relationship. So don't forget about the rights and safety of the patient. Now, you as a budding physician, it becomes important for you to inculcate these things in your mind so that you become a ethical prescriber in future. Now tell me how a pharmaceutical industry or their representative tries to influence your prescribing pattern or your prescribing behavior. See, most often we would have seen or we have discussed about the drug promotional literature. The other thing is the educational activities that are being conducted in the name of like CMEs or seminars or any other sort of educational activities. Then drug samples. Apart from that, gifts or food or research grants or monetary grants, travel facilities, hospitalities. So these are the practices which can create conflict of interest. Now, conflict of interest between what? Conflict of interest between the interest of the patient and interest of the pharma companies. You are in the middle between interest of the patient and interest of the pharma company. So you are the most important decision maker, so that this interest is tilted towards the patient, or this interest is balanced. Because if it is not properly managed, it may lead to compromise of the ethical values, it may lead to compromise of professional values, and nowadays we have seen that common public, general masses have got a very bad influence or very bad idea about the doctor fraternity or medicine fraternity. And you as a future physician, you all as a future physician have got a very good role to play in improving this image of the doctor fraternity. And how you can do this? If you are doing anything, just don't forget the interest of the patient. That is the best thing that can be done. Okay? So, to maintain integrity and independent decision making, physicians must ensure that they maintain an impartial relationship with industry representative, free of any influences. And what are the ways through which the industry tries to influence you? Through educational activities, through research grants, through travel facilities, hospitalities, food. So there are many ways through which industry directly or indirectly tries to influence your prescribing behavior. So there again I am telling you, there is no harm in interacting with the industry, because the knowledge or the recent update that they will provide you will be very beneficial for the patient. But again, the conflict of interest should not be hampered. Now, till now we were talking about the relationship between a doctor and pharmaceutical industry. The third stakeholder in that relationship was the patient. Now let us directly talk about relationship between patient and doctor. Doctor-patient relationship. It is called as fiduciary relationship. What is fiduciary? It is a legal term. The basics of this you should know. This relationship is a sort of relationship in which an individual in whom another had placed the utmost trust and confidence. See, when a patient comes to your clinic or your hospital, he his he has given you his own trust, his own confidence that you will treat him in a right manner. So you are holding the trust of another person. So you must stick to the high standard of conduct. And how you can stick to the high standard of conduct? By not harming the rights and benefit of the patient. Now, a question to you. We were talking about certain gift, either in the form of a drug sample or any other gift. Are gifts from pharmaceutical companies ethically problematic? How many of you tells no and how many of you tell yes? If it is ethically problematic, how many of you is telling that it is not problematic? Okay, let us discuss it in little detail. Can you guarantee that, say for example, if you become a physician in future and a particular drug representative comes to your clinic and he updates you about their drug. Apart from that, he gives you some drug samples. Apart from that, he invites you for certain educational activities. Over and above that, if he gives you certain gifts, can you neglect the fact that over a course of certain time you will not get influenced by their sales pitch or their promotional activities to promote a certain or to prescribe a certain type of drug? See, it is a vicious circle, and over a period of time, you will see that you are getting influenced by certain prescribing pattern that you are being told to follow. See, there are certain ethical dilemmas or there are certain ethical concerns regarding physicians accepting gift from the pharmaceutical companies. See, any gift or any marketing activities that XYZ company is doing, will they bear the expenses of those promotional activities from their pocket, or will they pass on the cost to the patient? Yes, tell me. Ultimately, the cost of gift is passed on to the patient. So cost is being passed on to the patient and the benefit is being passed on to the physician and ultimately by the sales of a drug to the pharma companies. See, I'm not against the industry as such. See, ultimately there are a lot of workers or a lot of employees working under those companies, but the thing is there are certain ethical norms that one should follow. So what I was telling you, that the cost of gift is being passed on to the patient, but the benefit is being passed on to the physician and ultimately pharma companies. And now once you have accepted a certain gift, you are under obligation to prescribe what a company is saying to you. So once you have accepted the gift, you are under obligation to prescribe a certain category of drug. So now the next thing that will happen, it will impair the balance or it will impair your obligation towards the patient, that your obligation is to serve in the best interest of the patient. Now there is certain code of ethical regulation. Earlier we had MCI which has passed on certain regulations. That any gift, travel facilities, hospitality, cash or monetary grant from industry is not acceptable, but it permits funding for medical research, studies, provided it is received through approved institution. So the thing is, the acceptance of individual gifts, hospitality, trips from industry by the physician is strongly discouraged. So ideally the physician should not accept any promotional gift, whatever their value or utility, if they have the ability to cloud the professional judgment and compromise patient care. Though there are certain acceptable industry gifts such as inexpensive gift for office use, pens and calendars, low cost gift of educational or patient care nature such as textbook or modest refreshment. Same is the take of another guideline which says that items of minimal value may be offered if they are primarily associated with healthcare professional practice. To sum it up, what you have learned from this particular class? Patient has a trust in you and you have an obligation towards patient care, and as far as possible don't try to harm the trust of the patient and avoid the conflict of interest that can harm the benefit of the patient. Gift from pharmaceutical industry can create conflict of interest. Some sort of gifts can be accepted. Guidelines have given a list of gifts that can be accepted. But as far as possible, try to reduce those conflict of interest in the interest of your patient. Thank you.